I think it's time. Time to share why I am so passionately Team Connie, baby. And part of the reason why I am Team Conrad is because, like I stated in my last video, I am Team Jenny. And I believe that Conrad is, without a doubt, Jenny's pick for Belly. This entire trilogy is their love story. Who's not seeing that? Okay, but I want to talk about one of the things that I noticed that I think gives so much perspective into who Conrad is and why he's actually not toxic. That word has been thrown around a lot with him, but I think when people say that, when I realize this, it's like all the pieces started coming together for me. Because I'll be honest, like when I first watched season 1 last year, I was not obsessed with this show. I thought it was cute and I liked it, but like I didn't understand the depth. And the reason why I and all of us are like so unhinged over this show is because like season 2 gave us such a bigger picture of like what's going on, and there's so much depth, you guys. There's so much depth. And this is my opinion, but I think if you just think Conrad is a jerk, you're not seeing the storyline that Jenny is trying to paint. You're taking things at face value, and there's actually so much more that's hinted and that is inferred and that we have to take and critically think ourselves to actually understand the true storyline and what's happening. Also, this video will probably contain spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, I'm just letting you know right now, you should move on. Okay, when I first watched season 1, again, like when it came out last year, I thought Conrad was kind of a jerk. Like I did. I think everybody did the whole time. And the gift that season 2 gave us was those flashbacks when him and Belly are together. And that is, I think, the first time in the show where we can actually start to piece together who Conrad really is. And then once I had that lens, I went back and like rewatched some of the season 1 episodes, and I felt like I saw them through a completely different lens. Like he wasn't a jerk anymore. I could see where he was coming from, I guess. And then of course I read the books, okay? And I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, Conrad's worse than the books. Well, here's what I think. I think the show actually does Conrad more justice because you can see his facial expressions. You can see like those micro expressions that he's so good at. You can see when like Belly turns her head away and he like smiles at her. Like you can see all of these things on his face. And even from the book's perspective, like you only get Belly's perspective. You get a 16-year-old girl's perspective. You get like her insecure lens and, oh, he doesn't like me, you know, he's never seen me that way. And so you don't fully see like his perspective really until book 3. But I will say, once I finished the books and I had like a full picture of like the whole story, season 1, Conrad, you guys, he's in love with her. And I didn't see it the first time. I didn't see it, and I see it now. Like I even just watched the first episode again, and like he's sitting at the dinner table that first night that they're all having dinner. And like Steven and Jeremiah are like making fun of Belly for like, so her mom says like she's maturing, and they're like laughing like, oh, Belly's not mature. And Conrad, like you can tell that he's not joining in with them. You can tell he has this soft spot for Belly. When they start talking about the dead ball, he's like confused because he's like, I know that that's not her. And then when Steven is like making fun of Belly for having a cat funeral, Conrad like subtly like smiles and like looks down, and you can tell that he's like loving that about her. She had a cat funeral. Okay, I'm getting a little bit off topic. Here's the biggest piece I think that we're missing with Conrad. He is grieving, and he's carrying this crazy secret, not only of his mom's cancer, but of his dad's affair. And I know a lot of other creators have like tapped into the whole, like, he's the eldest child. He's obviously like over responsible. He's the golden child. He's always cleaning the dishes. He, you know, in season 2, he's taking care of the house. Like he is the father figure by all intents and purposes of their family because Adam is absent. And he is already like carrying so much extra weight in their family. And then to put the secret of Beck's cancer and the secret of his dad's affair on top of that, we guys, we have to infer that he's not himself. And I would argue that the whole book, every time we see Conrad, until the very end of the book, I swear, I feel like I didn't see Conrad's real personality. And that's because this whole time frame is a snapshot of him experiencing the worst grief of his life. And yeah, he's terrible at communication. And yeah, he needs to mature in some areas too, just like the rest of them do. But like, we have to understand that he's going through so much, and he is the kind of person that's going to bottle all of it up inside, which he needs to figure that out. He needs to grow from that. He needs to heal from that. And so we have to look at what all the characters are saying about him in season 1, and what they keep saying. They're feeding this to us, you guys. They keep saying, why is Connie so different? Belly asks him, why are you so different? What's up with you? Susanna's like, Laurel, I need you to talk to him. You can get through to him. He's so different. I don't know what's up to him. You guys, we have to understand, he's not normally like this. He's not normally like this. He is not a jerk. He's dealing with a lot, and he's bottling all of it up. And that is why he is displaying some of these like jerk-like tendencies. I'm also not saying he's perfect. I'm just saying you guys got to read between the lines here. And so I was telling actually one of my friends this, and she's like, well, was he that great like before? I don't even think he was that great. Like, okay, I get he's grieving, but is he that great to begin with? And here's what I would do. I would urge you to watch season 2, episode 1, where him and Belly are on the beach after they've finally kissed. And then even what he says to her, like at Christmas on the phone, look at all those scenes. Write down the things he says. Listen, you guys might not be in this as much as I am, but the things he says to her, Belly, you're it for me. I don't think I could ever get over you. Like, he says all of these like beautiful things, because in those moments we see that grief that's been like weighing on him lift, because all of a sudden everyone knows about Susanna's cancer. Like, he can breathe finally. Him and Belly are like, becoming a thing. It's like we see the weight be lifted off of him, and we see him come back to himself in these moments. Christmas at the cousin's house, like he's like so sweet with her. And then we see him pull away when his mom gets sicker. Okay, we see prom, which, don't even get me started about prom. I'm like, Belly, grow up. In the words of Conrad Fisher, Belly, grow up. His mom died 2 weeks later after prom. Get over your prom. Like, grow up. Sorry, Belly, I love you. So here's the biggest thing. Conrad is grieving. I even think like in book 3, we see him have some space, but I think he's still maturing, and he's still growing up, and he's still figuring out how to like get past like all of his stuff that he's working through. And if you've read the books and your book did not include the letters that Conrad writes to Belly, because I mentioned the letters to some of my friends who read the book, and they're like, what are you talking about? What letters? I think it's like in the newer edition ones. I'm not sure, because I only have like the newer edition, because I'm on the bandwagon, But the letters that Conrad, spoiler, I'm about to talk about a spoiler, that Conrad writes to Belly after she and Jeremiah decide to not get married, I'm like, this is his personality, you guys. And I was like literally almost crying, because I'm like, he is fun. He is playful with her. He keeps writing her. He gave it time, because he's like mature, and he knows he shouldn't just jump right into something after she almost married his brother, which Jeremiah, hello, take a note from that. Like, I cannot. That's like a different video, but like Jeremiah and Belly jumping into something so soon after all of this happened in season 2, I'm like, you guys are so immature, and like, why is no one seeing this? It's not romantic, it's immature. Anyway, but like the letters he writes to Belly, they're so playful, they're so like silly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it gives everything so much context. The Conrad that we're seeing in all of these books, honestly, like all 3, book 3 he gets better, but like all 3 of these books, he is grieving. You guys, he's grieving. This is not who he is. And I'm not even like pro Belly and Conrad. Like, I don't even think at the end of season 2 they should be together. They need space, right? But long term, for the long game, end game, Belly and Conrad 100%. And we have to take into account that during the time frame we see him in the books and in the show, he's grieving.